Hello, viewers. A very good afternoon and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. We continue to take a look on what is happening in the nation of Zimbabwe. President Advocate Nelson Chamisa has laid out a clear plan about the policy position of the new great Zimbabwe government. So remember that change is coming to the nation of Zimbabwe, and he is equipping himself, preparing to one day lead the people of Zimbabwe. He says a new citizens affairs plan. Our new citizens government will introduce and roll out a comprehensive citizens affair plan based on data, evidence, figures, and statistical models. This is something very important because you will be using what is readily available and what is of importance and critical at that point. He says our data-led government model begins at birth and guides each individual citizen's development throughout their life. This plan will be launched from day one of the new administration. What does this mean? It means mwana achizvarwa nhasi, the government of the Republic of Zimbabwe will have a plan. Kuti nhasi kwazvarwa vana 1,000. Vana ava 1,000, what is the plan? So this is a rightful model, a very clear and bright model, which our President Advocate Nelson Chamisa is advocating for, because from birth to death, you will be guided by the development plan, which is already there. There will be knowing by the time you reach such years, by the time you reach 18 years, by the time you reach 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, you would have been prepared enough for you to be part and parcel of the economy in its entirety. So when we talk about the servant leadership, Advocate Nelson Chamisa does not have any match right here in Zimbabwe. He says, just this past weekend, we had a University of Zimbabwe 43rd graduation ceremony. A whopping 6,778 students graduated from the University of Zimbabwe, including 200 medical doctors among the 898 medical specialists, 256 lawyers, and 327 engineers. Sadly, we only had 16 dentists and 83 pharmacists graduating, an area that calls for significant improvement. Yet the market has no corresponding absorption capacity on account of the industry shrinking due to the economic and political environment. We produce graduates, but we have no viable market absorption plan to cater for the trained professionals we spew out year in, year out. So when you are training specialists, you don't just need to train them. For example, let's say you have some crane operators which you have at your company, and there is a new type of crane which is coming into the market with new things, which means the drivers you already have, they will have an idea, but not sufficient idea on operating that new crane. You take them to train them according to the numbers which you need. If you need, let's say 10 operators, then you have to train them according to your needs. How many cranes are coming? What is the workload? What is how many hours per day are they supposed to work? All those issues will be in consideration. But if you look at how Zimbabwe is producing graduates, they are simply producing graduates without even looking at the needs of your nation, which means you end up producing more human resources people than finance people, or than farmers, or than welders, or other technicians. This is the problem which we have. Zimbabwe, where it is right now, it needs more technical people who can move industrialization to a new scale. It needs people with entrepreneurial skills who can move Zimbabwe into an more entrepreneurial and industrial hub. That is not happening. So if you look at the government of President Nelson Chamisa, it is going to identify areas and prioritize what is very, very important. Then you will see graduates coming out according to the needs available. Then it will not be done haphazardly. Everything will be done. It will be decided. Mwana achitozvarwa achitokura, it's a matter of deciding kuti okay tina vana vedu vakadai by year rakati tinenge tasvika pakati in terms of industrialization, in terms of investment, in terms of chakati, which means we are going to implement mapolicies edu akadai, and you pre-plan for your kids. So a lot of people do not understand Advocate Nelson Chamisa and what he's thinking. That is the reason why you always see people failing to comprehend with what is happening. He says, despite the huge investments made, especially by students, and sacrifices by families in these difficult times, there is currently no effective citizens affairs plan to provide these graduates with a clear career path. This lack of opportunity and strategic planning means that our nation's investment in education often fails to yield meaningful returns, which could move us forward as a country. We then suffer a significant brain drain and a human capital hemorrhage, with our shining young talent building other nations outside Zimbabwe. Too many graduates either leave to seek greener pastures and employment opportunities abroad, or remain unemployed at home, joining the thousands already struggling without gainful employment or enterprise. So you look at this, you have to understand Kuti, the government of Advocate Nelson Chamisa will understand Kuti. We are living in dynamic times, things are changing, there is evolution is amongst us. What it means is there are jobs which are going to be absorbed through AI, which means kana waimbo dama what do you call them? Digital people will not create a poster, a flyer. It will come a time where somebody who is not even experienced will simply share my pictures kuda with a computer system. Then flyer roto buda, business card roto buda, or logo roto buda, without any hassles, without the need to involve a human being. Which means those courses dzakutofanira kutominimizwa. Even if it's chiitika, our people must now know that there is an impact of AI which is coming, which means you must prepare your own people, equip them and arm them enough for what is coming. So you'd see that this is what is affecting Africa, this is what is affecting Zimbabwe, where we have graduates who are just graduating, but at the end of the day varikutengesa airtime, at the end of the day varikutengesa parod, vakagara parod, they are not being employed. Information yavainayo iri kutopera vakagara, their prime time iri kuto expire vakagara. So when we implement radical, elaborate, thoughtful and inclusive citizens affair plan, that is how you can then have educational achievements be transformed into tangible growth and prosperity for everyone. So this is how the whole nation is going to benefit. So, you know, he's making a proposal. This issue is an issue which must be addressed from birth through rigorous systems that assigns a national identity, assigning each citizen a birth identity, social security, citizen number, and also a voter registration identification to be triggered active when the testing and qualification is completed. So through this level of monitoring and relationship with other data across the economic and social sectors, there is an opportunity to ensure when each student graduates with a qualification, the job market is ready to receive them with the most ideal opportunity, best placed to move forward our country's transformational and developmental needs. Which means tichatokura chiona kuti uyu mwana ane matrades ewelding, uyu mwana ane matrades echakati, uyu mwana ane matrades echakati. Pamuri kundokura, it's known by the country in its systems kuti we are likely going to have graduates anobuda in that field akati, in that field akati, in that field akati, which means you are creating opportunities already on behalf of them. Then an issue yekuti tichaita kunoita voter registrations, hakuna chinonzi voter registration chinenge chichiitika munyika, because data watozvarwa, everything will be done in being integrated. Paunongonosvika 18 years dzichingonotika, iwewe automatically the system yatokuallocata in the new voters roll. What you do is you simply go there for confirmation. Pauri kuenda ku registry office, uchienda ngatiti waenda at 16 years kuno obtain ID yako, national ID. You are already in the system. Pauri kungoenda uchinopinda mu national registry in terms of my IDs, then automatically kune zvinhu zvakutotanga kuto updatewa ipapo zvekuti at 18 automatically kana apa wanga watoone contact number yako at 16, at 18 every information yakutouya, even ikasauya through you, inouya through a parent or a guardian waunenge uchigara naye, because everything will be known. So when these things are being spoken about, people will simply think kuti Advocate Nelson Chamisa is playing, but he is not joking, he is not playing. So, this is a very, 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 very great initiative, and the future is actually here with us. And Advocate Nelson Chamisa is a brilliant young man who is doing great things to make sure that change comes to the nation of Zimbabwe. So no matter the circumstances, no matter what you think, no matter what, a new great Zimbabwe shall be upon us. A new great Zimbabwe shall come. And you will see wonders. You see things you have never seen. Because we have ideas, we have capacity, we have hardworking people, but we don't have a government. We don't have willingness to bring new things to the nation Zimbabwe. So this is it. Simbarashe, how are you, my brother? Thank you very much for coming. I'm well. How are you? Elias, okay. You have your own thoughts, Mr. Elias. You have to think whatever you want. We are not here guided by what you think or whatever. We are here to do what we are supposed to be doing as a platform. So this is it, Team Zimbabwe. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming. We'll continue to watch and see what is happening in the nation of Zimbabwe. And we'll continue to fight for change. We'll continue to bring that necessary change to the nation of Zimbabwe.